Hi, I'm Lucas, and in this video I'm going to show you a very interesting project that I built. It's not difficult, it's not something that you should be afraid of, because again, it's very simple. And it is a chatbot for a pizzeria. Basically, the way this works is shown here. It's a way to automate Instagram DMs. So whenever a DM comes in, it is passed to our chatbot. This is my attempt replicating the OpenAI logo. And this chatbot has knowledge about our business. Through this, it then generates an answer, which is then sent to whoever asked. Now, this is actually very simple in code. Let me show you. This is a file, a TXT file with all of the information about a pizzeria. It has, dining options, as you can see here. It even has the history of the pizzeria, the opening hours, the specialties, the whole menu. So basically all of the information that you need about this. From this, in order to create a chatbot that can use this information, we have to take it, split it, and from that we have to create basically embeddings. What are embeddings? Embeddings are basically these are vectors with a bunch of numbers that describe words, basically. For example, each of the numbers inside a vector represents a certain thing about it. For example, it could be if it's a verb, if it's positive, if it's negative, if it's a food. And so these are very high dimensional vectors. They are usually like 1,000 something elements long. And they can be easily created actually in Langchain from just easy text. So first of all, we import a recursive text splitter, and face is actually what will create the embeddings for us. And then we use OpenAI embeddings to actually create this. We then import our file. As you can see here, now that we have our imported, and this contains all of the information about our pizzeria, we now need to split this because by itself it's too long. And so you need to create vectors for chunks of your document. The way you do so is by first splitting the text. And so this recursive text splitter basically does that. And in this case, I used a chunk size of 1,000. So 1,000 characters are inside a chunk, and a chunk overlap of 100 so that we don't lose information. So the first chunk will go from character 0 to 1,000, and the second one will go from 900 to 1,900, and so on. Basically, there will be an overlap of 100 characters between one chunk and the next. Then we split the text, and from the split text, we create documents. And this is because in Langchain, to create embeddings, we need documents, basically. We can't just operate with simple text, unfortunately. But once you create the documents, we are pretty much done. We now need to import our embeddings. We need to create them. So this OpenAI embedding usually requires an API key. And I have my API key stored in this .env file. So I'm not going to show you my OpenAI key, but what is usually done is this. We import the load.env and we give it the path to our environment file. So this basically contains the API keys, and this is enough to have this working. And then we create the embeddings from documents, and we give the documents and the embeddings. Now, I've already done this, and I've saved it as inside this folder named Pizzeria. And so we're actually going to load it. If I stop load local, and I'm going to give this Pizzeria. Again, we need to pass the embeddings. And in this case, I think there is allow dangerous deserialization. This, okay. Okay, now it works. I hadn't run this cell. Okay, so now we have doc search, which is basically a vector store. And so it contains all the information about the knowledge that we had previously. Now, we have to use this knowledge though inside our custom chatbot, and this is fairly easy. First of all, in Langchain, we import chat OpenAI, and we use it as the model that we're going to use. Once again, you usually need to give this an API key, but since I have my API keys in my keys.environment file, this is actually not going to be required. So here I create my model, and now what we can do is create a chain that is called retrieval QA. So I'm going to import it first from Langchain .chains. And now I can create a retrieval QA chain, and this needs a model and a retriever, which is going to be our doc search, so our knowledge converted into a vector store. So we just have to use this method to have it work. And now we have our custom chatbot. This is how easy it is actually. And so we can now ask it, what is the best pizza that you offer? And in a while, this will give us an answer. Okay, so he doesn't have an actual favorite as an AI assistant, but there are some that are very light. Maybe we could ask, instead of something subjective, something objective. So, for example, are you open on Sundays at 10 p.m? Yes, Boston's Rustic Oven is open on Sundays until 10 p.m. Okay, so this is interesting, but now the next step is using this inside of our Instagram DMs. So now that we've built this, how can we use it to answer questions from our clients? Well, I've done so in this file, and I've used Instagram, which is very simple, but I'm going to show you. Basically, it's very, very simple. This is all the code that we need. First, we just get the new messages, and then for each new message, we use the QA chain. We invoke the QA chain, we give it the message, and then through direct answer, we just respond to the message. All of this code is going to be available in my GitHub, so don't worry. Let me give you a very quick demonstration of how it works. The recording cut off earlier, but this was the message that I sent, and this is the message that I received. So, well, I would say this is kind of good. And subscribe.